What percentage do I invest in IONQ? Currently, it is 2%. In today's video, I will introduce my three-bucket framework and explain why my allocation to IONQ is 2%. In my investing journey, I have learned many expensive but valuable lessons. The most important one is probably positioning. In the early years, I believed that making the right calls and picking good stocks were the most crucial aspects of investing. Gradually, I realized that positioning is even more important. In simple terms, positioning refers to the percentage you allocate to your investments. You can go all in on one stock, spread 1% each across 100 individual stocks, or find a balance somewhere in between. Positioning is not only about asset allocation, but more importantly, about risk allocation. The longer I stay in the stock market, the more I understand that investing is more about risk management than making the right market calls or picking good stocks. My positioning framework. Here is a framework I use for positioning. I categorize my investments into three buckets: I believe, I trust, and I wish. The I believe bucket. This is for my highest conviction bets. I allocate 10% to each of three stocks, making up 30% of my portfolio. I trust. These are reliable businesses. I allocate 5% to each of 12 stocks, making up 60% of my portfolio. This bucket consists of the majority of my portfolio and should be profitable and reliable businesses, mostly large-cap stocks, leaders in their industries, with dividends and buybacks. I wish. These are moonshots. I allocate 2% to each of 5 stocks, making up 10% of my portfolio. These companies are in their nascent stages, not making money, and could fail at any time. But if they succeed, the payoff could be substantial. Where does IONQ fit? In terms of IONQ, which bucket should you put it in? In my opinion, it could go either in bucket 1 or bucket 3, but not bucket 2. If you have extremely high conviction, you can put it in bucket 1 and allocate 10% to it. If you're not very sure but still want to give it a try, you can put it in bucket 3 and allocate 2%, which is what I choose. In total, I have 20 spots to be filled. Based on my time schedule and research capabilities, 20 stocks is a comfortable size for me. It is not over-diversified, nor too concentrated. This framework is not one size fits all. Everyone can have their own allocation among the 3 buckets, or even 4 buckets, but the general idea is the same. Also, with this framework, I rebalance quarterly. Investments can move in and out between buckets based on the fundamentals of the companies. My position on IONQ. Personally, I put IONQ in bucket 3 for a few reasons. First, quantum computing is still a nascent technology, and nobody knows how long it will take to become truly useful. Second, there are tens, if not hundreds, of competitors. Who knows who will be the leader in 3, 5, or 10 years? I truly believe nobody knows. Third, IONQ is not making money. It is still burning cash, and nobody knows how long its cash position will last. I think I don't need more than 3 reasons to convince myself not to allocate more than 2% of my portfolio to IONQ. What may trigger an adjustment of my IONQ positioning? There are many things to watch. On the upside, I pay special attention to applications. Value comes from solving real problems. IONQ's chairman and CEO, Peter Chapman, has mentioned many times that quantum computing's ChatGPT moment is coming. We need to see when it will arrive. On the downside, companies are easier to fail than to succeed, and many things can go wrong. In particular, I pay attention to their corporate governance, management team, research and development, and financial discipline.